Hello everyone. When many people hear the words supplement protein and prevent muscle loss, the first thing that comes to mind is bone soup. The older generation always believes that bone soup is rich in calcium and collagen. Drinking too much of it can strengthen the body, enhance muscles, and delay aging. But is that really the case? In fact, scientific research has long told us that the nutritional value of bone soup is far less than imagined. The protein content in bone broth is actually very limited, mostly consisting of fat and a small amount of gelatin. It cannot truly provide sufficient amino acid sources for muscles, nor can it effectively prevent sarcopenia. Today we are going to tell you, forget about bone broth. This kind of food is the real secret weapon that can help you build muscle, delay aging, and fight against sarcopenia. Remember to like, subscribe, so you won't miss a very useful channel. We'll delve into more daily foods and drinks that can quietly improve your health from the inside out. That is, soybeans and their products. Perhaps you think the word soybean is nothing special when you hear it, but in fact, it is an underestimated superfood. Soybeans are rich in high-quality plant protein. Every 100 grams of soybeans contain over 36 grams of protein, a figure that is close to or even exceeds that of many meats. Moreover, the amino acid composition of soy protein is very complete, especially rich in leucine. This amino acid plays a key role in muscle synthesis. It can directly stimulate the production of muscle protein, thereby helping to repair and strengthen muscle tissue. Research has found that adequate intake of leucine can effectively activate the mTOR signaling pathway, which is precisely the key path for our body to initiate muscle synthesis. This is particularly important for middle-aged and elderly people over 60 years old, as they age, the body's absorption and utilization efficiency of protein decline, and their muscle synthesis ability also weakens. Consuming soy protein rich in leucine can precisely make up for this deficiency. In contrast, the majority of the protein in bone broth is collagen, which plays a far less significant role in muscle synthesis than complete proteins rich in leucine. Moreover, the absorption efficiency of bone broth is low. Even if you stew it for several hours, the concentration of amino acids dissolved remains limited. Many people drink a lot of bone soup, thinking they are supplementing protein. In fact, what they take in is only fat and calories. Not only does it fail to build muscle, but it may also cause an increase in blood lipid levels. On the contrary, if you can regularly consume an appropriate amount of soy products every day, such as tofu, soy milk, soybeans, edamame, or dried tofu, you can not only supplement sufficient high-quality protein, but also take in various nutrients such as soy isoflavones, calcium, iron, and magnesium. These nutrients work together, which is very helpful for delaying muscle loss, maintaining bone density, and regulating hormonal balance. It is particularly worth mentioning that the phytoestrogen in soybeans, soy isoflavones, is simply a natural guardian for middle-aged and elderly women. With the arrival of menopause, the level of estrogen in women's bodies drops, leading to a decrease in bone density, reduced muscle mass, and a slower metabolism. Soy isoflavones can exert a mild estrogen-like effect, helping to improve hormonal balance and thereby protect muscles and bones. In addition, scientific research also shows that soy protein is beneficial to men as well. Moderate intake can improve insulin sensitivity, help control weight and blood sugar, and keep the body in a healthier metabolic state. Sarcopenia is a common but easily overlooked health crisis. After the age of 60, many people will find that their legs have become thinner, their strength has decreased, they walk more slowly, and it is difficult for them to go upstairs. In fact, behind this, muscle loss is quietly taking place. Sarcopenia not only reduces mobility but also increases the risk of falls, fractures, diabetes, and even cardiovascular diseases. The key to preventing sarcopenia lies not only in exercise, but also in the quality and intake of protein in daily diet. The advantage of soy protein lies in its easy absorption and the fact that it does not impose a burden of high saturated fat or cholesterol, which is particularly safe for elderly people with fragile cardiovascular systems. For instance, a 300 milliliter cup of soy milk contains approximately 9 grams of protein. If you add a piece of tofu or dried tofu to it, you can easily obtain over 20 grams of high-quality protein in one meal. If you can consume such a combination in 3 meals a day, along with an appropriate amount of eggs, fish, or nuts, your muscle base will be firmly maintained. Even some studies have pointed out that mixing animal protein with plant protein can increase the body's protein utilization efficiency by 10% to 15%, which means that for the same amount of protein, the effect is better. In addition, soy protein also helps to reduce inflammatory responses. As people age, the increase in chronic inflammation levels in the body can affect muscle synthesis. Antioxidants and isoflavones in soybeans can help reduce inflammatory indicators, thereby indirectly protecting muscle tissue. This also explains why people who often consume legumes generally have higher muscle mass, lower body fat, and more stable metabolism. In other words, soybeans can not only help you build muscle, but also make you look younger. Some people might worry whether soybeans can cause flatulence or indigestion. In fact, as long as the method is correct, this kind of problem can be completely avoided. For instance, soaking soybeans before cooking and thoroughly boiling them can effectively remove most of the oligosaccharides that cause flatulence. If you are not used to whole soybeans, you can choose fermented soy products, such as natto, duchi, or fermented bean curd. The fermentation process not only enhances the flavor, but also breaks down large molecule proteins, making absorption easier. Moreover, fermented soy products contain probiotics, which are beneficial to intestinal health and especially friendly to the digestive systems of the elderly. It is worth noting that merely supplementing protein cannot completely solve the problem of muscle loss. The correct approach is to combine soy protein with moderate strength training. Research shows that when the elderly consume sufficient protein every day and engage in resistance training, such as squats, resistance band stretching, and dumbbell lifting, their muscle synthesis efficiency can increase by more than twice. This combined effect is known as the nutrition plus training synergy and is currently the golden strategy for preventing sarcopenia. Soy protein, as an easily absorbed and burden-free source of protein, precisely meets the recovery needs after training. In addition, soybeans are rich in calcium and magnesium, two minerals that are key factors for muscle contraction and relaxation. Calcium helps with signal transmission, while magnesium helps relax muscles and prevent cramps. Many elderly people experience leg cramps at night, which is actually due to insufficient intake of calcium and magnesium. In contrast, although bone broth also contains calcium, its content is extremely low and its dissolution efficiency is poor. However, the absorption rate of calcium in soybeans is very high. Especially for tofu made with gypsum, its calcium content can be comparable to that of milk, which is almost a natural way to protect bones by eating soybeans. From the perspective of overall nutritional structure, soybeans are a superfood tailored for the elderly. It not only provides protein, but also simultaneously supplements fiber, vitamin E, and various plant compounds. Dietary fiber can help detoxify the intestines and prevent constipation. Vitamin E has antioxidant properties and can protect muscle cells from damage by free radicals. Soy lecithin can also promote fat metabolism, protect liver function, and is helpful in controlling cholesterol levels and preventing fatty liver. Some scientists conducted a 2-year study and found that elderly people who consumed at least 25 grams of soy protein every day had a significantly lower rate of muscle loss than the general population, and their grip strength, balance, and walking speed all improved significantly. More importantly, their blood sugar and lipid levels are also healthier, and the risk of cardiovascular events has decreased by nearly 30%. This proves that soybeans are a secret weapon for delaying aging and strengthening the body. So, if you are still relying on bone soup to nourish your body, it's time to change your perspective. The temperature of bone soup may warm the body, but it cannot truly nourish the muscles. If you truly want to remain agile, muscular, and energetic after the age of 60, you should incorporate soybeans and soy products into your daily diet to make protein supplementation both scientific and efficient. One last point to remind you is that any nutritional supplement should be balanced. Although soybeans have many benefits, it is not recommended to eat too much at one time to avoid excessive protein intake, which may burden the kidneys. Maintaining an appropriate amount every day, approximately equivalent to the dry weight of 50 to 70 grams of soy products, can meet the needs of most people. If you can add a small amount of animal protein, such as eggs and fish, and do regular exercise, you can maximize the muscle-building effect of soybeans. That's all for today's sharing. Don't forget to subscribe and like it, so you won't miss the next video. We'll delve into more daily foods and drinks that can quietly improve your health from the inside out.